Hey everybody, Bradley Will from BradleyWill.com here hanging out at Panera Bread, and I'm just hanging out having lunch with a good friend of mine, Butch Zemar, and we were getting into a conversation, a really sexy conversation about insurance. Obviously you probably don't really care about insurance, either do I, and that's the mistake I was making, because he just shared with me a pretty fascinating story and a pretty scary story at the same time that I immediately grabbed for the camera. I'm like, but you got to tell all these small businesses and entrepreneurs like myself that are, not covering their own ass. So, Butch, can you just share with people the story that you just told me? It was a pretty frightening thing.
Sure. It was a story about an entrepreneur actually in the Chicagoland area that got in a major accident, had to go through rehabilitation.
Like a car accident?
Yep,
okay.
Car accident, and they had to go to rehabilitation, and the bill ended up being about $78,000 bill. The average limitation in most plans out there are about $3,000. So when you do the difference, there was a $75,000 exposure before the insurance company ever kicked in.
That's pretty scary. So, but what you said, the limitations, I'm insurance illiterate, so like the limitation, is that for a specific event, like an accident?
Yeah, a specific category of what's being covered in health insurance. It's usually written in the outline of coverage, and most people even miss it. Okay,
so I guess that's pretty scary to know. You think you're getting covered by something, and really an extreme accident like that can really take you out of the game. But yeah. You said you have any more interesting?
Yeah, there was one other one I was telling you about that they actually had a group company plan, rich in benefits. They thought everything was taken care of for them. They finally got diagnosed with a critical illness, and it was actually a stroke, and they had to go through rehab themselves, and eventually he had to take so much time off of work, they had to replace him at work, and he eventually lost his insurance, and he ended up going bankrupt because he was left with the bills afterwards.
Jeez, wow. That's pretty, it's frightening. So the best tip is what? I mean, how do you know that your agent is not screwing you over? Like, because a lot of us probably buy insurance online, like I did. I bought Blue Cross stuff online and didn't even know what I was like, all right, low premium, this is what I want. So how do we combat that?
Well, first of all, you probably, instead of shopping online, they're not going to point out all the limitations in the policy. They're only going to tell you some of the bells and whistles people are looking for. So my recommendation is work with somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Listen to them. If it sounds good, and you have to look at the policy, make sure there's good value bringing to the table. It's not about the branding of the company. It's about the coverage you're buying, because the most branded carriers could have the most limitations.
Interesting, fascinating. Well, I appreciate you sharing these stories. I mean, this is really cool. We're just hanging out today, so I wanted to make sure I got this on camera for all those business owners or entrepreneurs out there that aren't covering your own ass. Make sure you are, and get with a guy like Butch. Butch has got a heart of gold to at least walk through and make sure he can point things out and making sure that you're covered. So cheers. We will talk to you soon.
See you later.